Well, hello again everyone. Today I'm going to make the longest trip so far that I've made on the Mutt Mastiff 125cc motorbike. I'm off to see my mum and dad in Ipswich, about 70 miles away. I've checked the oil level and the tension on the chain. Bike's looking a bit grubby because it got caught in the rain last night, but we'll wash it tomorrow, I guess. I've also given it a bit of a spray with the old dry lube. I also added, some time ago actually, some USB sockets and a quad lock mount to the bike, so I can use my phone for navigation. I did make a little video on that, but somehow managed to lose all the footage. And I'm using an app called... Blimey, there's a bit of DIY going on around here. And I'm using an app called Calimoto for the navigation. Not sponsored or anything by them, but it's pretty good, so I'll show you how it works. Well, it's a pretty standard navigation sort of app, and on the free version you get a good sort of area near where you live, and you're able to plan routes down to the windy sort of category. I actually fronted up and paid the £42.99 for the premium version, and I think that's an annual fee, but it allows me to choose the super windy option. Now, assuming, as I've shown here, I'm going from Land Beach in Cambridgeshire where I work to Wainfleet in Lincolnshire, chosen that super windy option, and now I can just click the calculate and it will bring up a silly fact and a route, and I can go on any section of that route, and if I don't fancy sort of a bit, I can grab that. So I didn't want to go through Thorney, I want to go through I instead. I can do that and it will recalculate the route and take me through Thorney instead. And you can use that to avoid sections of dual carriageway or whatever you like. Obviously, as a learner, I can't go on motorways, so to avoid motorways as well. So it's actually pretty good, and I've used it a few times. You can also use it to plan random circular routes from any location, which I think is pretty good. Right, I've also checked all the lights and everything are working, so let's get on our way. Well, the distance from my house to where mum and dad live is a shade over 70 miles, so this is going to be a 140 mile round trip, which is quite a lot further than I've ever been on the bike before. So it'll be a good test of how comfortable the bike is to ride over a long distance, and how it stands up to it, really, I suppose, and how I stand up to it. I used to visit that agricultural machinery place on the left quite frequently when I worked near here a few years back. Well, we're now firmly into Suffolk, and you can see the app is taking us on some quite nice scenic country roads. Now, if I was going in the car to my parents' place, I'd be going mainly on the A14 pretty much all the way, which is a big fast dual carriageway road, so 70 mile an hour really all the way. And obviously the Mutt wouldn't do that. It would be stuck at a shade under 60 probably for most of it, and less uphill. So this is far more pleasant. I can travel probably at the maximum road speed you want to safely travel at a bike on these roads. Aha, a fellow motorcyclist. Hello, mate. Well, we've covered some ground now and I'm still pretty comfortable. I've had a few comments online, people saying the Mutt seats aren't too comfy on a longer run, but I'm certainly having no problems. Well, I'm enjoying this so far, but it is thirsty work, so glad I brought some water with me. Quick 5-minute break and then I'll get back on the road. That water actually tasted pretty horrible. I think that's been in the bottle for a while. Yeah, thinking back, I think that water was some that I'd put in there for a ride I went on a couple of weeks before this. So yeah, it'd been festering there for a while and not so good really. Always take some nice fresh water with you would be my advice. Certainly seems like there's quite a lot of woods in Suffolk, and it's very nice to be riding these back roads through the trees a lot of the time. And so far the weather's holding. There is some rain forecast for later, but I'm hoping I'll get back before the worst of it. I got stuck behind this little car for quite a way. There's actually been a couple of diversions and road closures, so I've had to reprogram the app for that. It's not quite as good as Google Maps in that respect. It doesn't seem to know when roads are closed or busy. And the super windy option really does bring you on some tiny little country roads. As you can see here, it's really rather pleasant though. I'm definitely thinking it'd be well within the realms of possibility to take some longer trips, maybe even take a tent and perhaps some multiple day motorbike rides. That'd be quite something, wouldn't it? I've actually no idea where we are for a lot of this ride, even though we're not really that far from home. These are not roads that I am familiar with. Massive village green off to the left there. Lovely. Well, I've stopped for another bit of a break. The weather's holding. There is a little bit of rain forecast later. And yeah, I think I've got about 20 miles left to go. Keep your eye out for the lovely old American truck coming up shortly, followed by a nice vintage car. Right, I've arrived. I think we're going to have some lunch with Mum and Dad. And indeed I did. We had a nice lunch and a good old chin wag for a few hours. But now it's time to head home by pretty much the same route, really. I've not got very far really, about a third of the way home, and I've stopped to have another swig of water because it's pretty dry old work, this riding in the warm weather. Well, about 20 miles to go and the rain has started, so I stopped to put on my waterproof trousers, and yeah, although it's not too bad, it did get a little bit heavier just before I got home. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Give the like button a press. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more.